I remember when I first wanted to start making YouTube videos, I was excited and kind of nervous at the same time, but I was still ready to dive in head first. But instead of just starting, I did what a lot of us do. I started binge watching videos like how to make a YouTube channel, or how to make your first video, or even how to find a niche. It felt like the more I learned, the less I actually did. It's something I think a lot of people go through, this information overload. You dive into video after video, absorbing every piece of advice. But after a while, you start feeling paralyzed. This information becomes overwhelming, and suddenly you are stuck in this loop of consuming rather than creating. I was worried about getting things wrong, like what if my first video wasn't good enough? What if nobody liked it? And as I kept watching tutorials, I realized I wasn't getting anywhere. I wasn't making any progress. I wasn't creating anything. I was just sitting there overthinking every little detail. It took me a while to realize this, that no amount of tutorials can replace the actual experience of doing actual work. You can watch 100 videos about how to make a YouTube channel, but until you make one, you're never going to know how things work out. Every creator is different, and what works for you might not work for somebody else, and what works for somebody else might not work for you. And that's where the power of taking action comes into play. That's when I realized that real power is in action. The more time I spend watching videos, the less time I spend creating. And it's the act of doing that gives you clarity. When you create something, whether it's a video, a blog post, or a piece of art, you learn what works and what doesn't. You learn by making mistakes and figuring things out along the way. And you know what? That's okay. Making mistakes is normal. You're going to make mistakes. Your first video might not be perfect, and that's actually fine. The important thing is you have to start. When you start, you build momentum, and that momentum is what gets you to the next level. Let me share with you 3 steps that help me get unstuck and move from learning mode to creative mode. These are the steps that pushed me to stop overthinking and basically just start creating. The first point is you need an idea. And let me tell you, your idea doesn't need to be some revolutionary concept. It just needs to be something that excites you or something you care about. Sometimes we get caught up in trying to find the perfect idea, and that's where the hesitation starts. Your first idea might not be your best idea, and that's okay. The key is to start with something, anything that gets you moving. Once you created a few videos, you start to see where your strengths and weaknesses are. And the ideas will just keep getting better and better. But the important thing is you need to start with whatever is in front of you right now. So now you got an idea, but it's useless unless you take action. And the biggest mistake I made early on was thinking everything had to be perfect before I take the next step. That mindset kept me from doing anything. The truth is, things will never be perfect. Your first video will likely be a mess. But that's part of the process. You have to go through that in order to improve. The more you produce, the more you will learn. Every time you hit that record button or finish editing a video, you're learning something, you're improving, you're getting better, you're building skills that no amount of tutorials can teach you. That is why action is so powerful. It basically moves you from theory into reality. So next step I want to talk about is to not to get caught up in the technical stuff right away. Trust me, I know how easy it is to fall into the trap of worrying about what camera you're using or whether you have the best lighting set up in your room. Yes, these are important, but those things are important down the line. They shouldn't stop you from creating right now. Start with what you have. use your phone and natural lighting. Just focus on making content. You will learn more about the technical side as you go further into this journey. Once you made a few videos, you start naturally improving your skills, whether it's editing, camera angles, or audio. But none of that matters if you don't create something first. And the last point I want to make is something I came across recently, and I haven't fully understood that yet, but it's been kind of somewhat of an eye-opener for me, and that is vitality. This is something I learned along the way, and it's been somewhat of a game changer for me. Vitality is basically the energy and enthusiasm you bring into your creative process. When you're excited and driven, that energy translates into your work. When you approach your work with vitality, you're not just going through the motions. You're investing your passion and enthusiasm into your creative art. And that energy shows up in your final product, whether it's a video, a blog post, whatever you're creating. Your viewers, your audience, they can see it, they can feel it, and that's what makes your content alive. Vitality is what keeps you going when things get tough. It's that force that pushes you to keep creating even on the days when you feel like you're not making any progress. There has been so many times where I have fallen off that creative path or that creative journey, but somehow I always seems to come back around. Take this video for example. It's been almost a month since I last uploaded a video. There has been times when I thought about just giving up, but there is something unexplainable, a force that keeps nudging me to get things done and to go a little further. And I think that is how I came to the realization that I might be on a path that I want to be. It's what makes the creative process not just something you do, but something you experience fully. And that's something I can't fully explain because you have to feel it. And you will feel it when you start creating something that is you really wanted to create. And that can be translated into other things. For example, your work, looking after somebody, just, that idea of vitality is so powerful. At least that's what I think. So if you're sitting there like I was, stuck in this loop of I need to learn more before I start, I want to tell you this: stop overthinking. I know that's not easy straight away, but the more you hear it, the more chance there is that you will stop overthinking. You're never going to feel 100% ready, and you just have to take the first step and see where that goes. Trust me, action creates clarity. The more you create, the more confident you feel. It's not about having the perfect idea or the best gear. It's about starting, learning, and improving with every step you take. And don't forget to bring vitality into it. When you create with enthusiasm and energy, your work shines. So if you've been waiting for the right moment, this is it. Get out there and make something. You'll be surprised at what you're capable of. This video has been interesting to make for myself because it made me reflect a lot about my journey so far in content creation. So every time I make these kind of videos, I feel like it's not just for you guys out there, it's also for me because it gives me an opportunity to sit down, think, and reflect on what I'm doing right, what I'm doing wrong. So that's an eye-opener for me as well. So yeah, just wanted to share that with you. It works both ways. When I put in the time to make a video, I also get something out of it even before I post the video. So that's great, So yeah, I think that's it. I'm done, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.